Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I just want to share a couple of pieces of news that actually came out and how I think they will affect the market coming into tomorrow, Friday the 24th, as well as all of next week, as I think this will be a huge bull moment for the stock market, and I think we might even come back to all-time highs. So just want to share those reasons, and also I want to show you guys a few plays that I am watching to initiate new swing trades in if the market does start rallying come tomorrow or come Monday of next week. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the presidential debates. Now, I always like to stay very apolitical, and I just want to say that the fact that they were so much more normal, so much more expected than usual is going to be a very great thing for this such an uncertain market that we've had over the last few weeks. And with this uncertainty kind of finally boiling over and finally having a normal event in US politics, I think a lot of people are going to take this as a sign that the market will be okay, regardless of what president we have in the future. And this is always going to be a good rallying point for the stock market to see this unity between both of our political parties. So that's going to be the first event that we actually had tonight. And just a few hours before the debate, actually, we had another huge piece of news. And a lot of people were actually hearing about this before the market closed. Unfortunately, I wasn't in any positions before the market closed, so I wasn't really listening to any news or watching any live updates. But we actually got news that the FDA, the Federal Drug Administration, approved the first treatment, the first official treatment for COVID-19, and that's going to be with the company Remdesivir. Now, if you do remember, I talked about Remdesivir and Gilead a couple of weeks ago on the channel, and that was another moment when I said the market would rally, and they did at that time. But now we're seeing again this news come up. And now we're seeing some real concrete news with the fact that this has been approved as a treatment. So this is no longer a rumor. This is an official piece of news. And I think that's why it will move the market to the upside, especially with the fact that this is the first kind of vaccine or COVID related news that we've actually had moving the market over the last few weeks. So I'm really hoping to see a rally, and I'm seeing some good signs here on the lower time frame charts. I see a big wedge here forming on the SPY, and unfortunately, actually, they broke out today from this wedge and saw a lot of like a direction here, a consistent direction, which is what I've been looking for over the last week, and not just more of this selling than buying, then selling than buying, because it really doesn't move individual stocks when the market is trading in this way, and it's going to be much more easier to trade and much better to trade when the market is heading in one concise direction. So that's why I think we can potentially see a breakout here from this level. I think we're going to see a lot of upwards potential if we can break 345 by the open tomorrow. And if we can hold above before the market closes, I think this will be a great sign of what's going to come on Monday. Now, we have a potential to potentially retest on the 342 or come down all the way back to 340. I don't see this as a likely scenario with all the positive news we've gotten over the last few hours, but it could be possible as the market has seen a lot of sideways consolidation and a lot of selling off, a lot of downwards pressure over the last few days. And I've seen a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of people in my trading Discord and other communities that I'm a part of saying that there should be a second market sell-off. But I personally don't think there should be or there will be, but we might be able to see some kind of a push downwards. Who knows, guys? So just keep a close eye out on the market, even though we do have some kind of one-way direction here over the last few days and potentially into tomorrow and next week. Remember that the market is still very volatile and waiting to see what happens here within the next 15 days with this election. So just keep a close eye out on those things. And now I just want to talk about a few individual stocks that I'm looking to open a new trade in, a new swing position in if the market does continue rallying. So those are going to be stocks that I've talked about over the last few days, and especially stocks that I've talked about breaking a key level or forming a pattern, because that's going to be the most critical ones that are primed or in a prime position to potentially take advantage of this market rally. So the first one I want to talk about is Starbucks, and you can see that they are reaching all-time highs here. They've never been above this 90 something price, $90 to $100. And if we can start to break a lot of these levels that have been very hard to break over the last few days, then I think this stock can really rally past all-time highs, as they are the biggest coffee brand in the entire world. And I think that there's really no limit to what this stock could cost, especially as we've seen other stocks of businesses and stuff like this. I think the only thing holding this stock back is the fact that they have a lot of in-person locations, and it's really going to hurt their business. The fact that they can't really stop their business and make it more suitable to COVID. But we've seen other companies like McDonald's actually continue pushing up, even though we've had this type of news. So I think Starbucks is next in line for a move to the upside with how many times we've tested this $89 level. And if we can hold above $89 at the open and potentially trade above $89.50 at some time in the day, then I'll be looking for a new swing trade to the upside, looking for around 91 or potentially all-time highs if we do have that type of momentum on the stock. So that's going to be my most best important play to watch. I think there's some great volume on the stock right now, and a lot of people are seeing how great of an opportunity this is right now and are just sad that they didn't see it earlier. So that's the first play that I want to talk about. The second play here is going to be on Penn National Gaming. And this is a stock that's very similar to DraftKings. And they also had a stock offering of their own and kind of followed DraftKings on what DraftKings does on a daily basis. And as you may know, DraftKings has been selling off. It's a play that I've been watching for a long time. I'm in a long-term position on DraftKings. Right now, I am down on that play, like I explained in my video why I'm going all in on DraftKings, but I'm hoping that that can recover in the long term. And I'm also selling calls and doing other things to really mitigate my loss. So it's not as bad as it may seem, but there still is a lot of upside to that play before I can really get into profits. So really, I'm hoping to have a little more luck here in the short term with Penn National Gaming, and that's why I'm really watching them near these lows that they tested today at around $62. And you can see they've had a really good run up along with DraftKings, but now as a result of these news and of the fact that the other stock DraftKings is selling off, we've seen a lot more downwards pressure in this stock, and now they're just really testing this $62 level. Now, if we do see an open and then come below the 63 and 62 and to the downside, then I will be looking for a trade to the downside to around $57. But if we do see potentially a break above this 63.84, which was the level they were holding in the past and holding very strongly, you can see there's a lot of melted candles around this price. And what this is going to show us is when the bulls step in and really buy something strongly within that same hour is going to make it so that these candles look melted. So that's why I'm really watching this stock. I think 63.80 is going to be a huge bull area for them. And if they can break through, then I can really see a play to the upside coming. Now, the last play I want to talk about today is going to be Plug Power. And Plug is a company that I talked about earlier this week in my 100% profits trading video. And I made a lot of money with this company buying puts on the company. But unfortunately, they look like they've reached a bottom to where their price is going to head. And this price was around the highs of where they were before they made their last run here at the ends of October. And now we're really looking to see whether they can hold up above this $14 or if they will head back to the downside. Now, if you are a long-term bull on this company, or if you're looking for a swing trade position, then I 100,000% recommend this company for a long-term position. I think they have some great growth potential in the long run. And I think this is a company similar to NIO or these other companies that potentially pop up out of nowhere after potentially gaining value from these lows around pennies or dollars value. So you can see that they have lows around $2, $3, and this is just a couple months ago. And now every time a new group of traders learns about this existence of this stock, seems like they really have these runs very often. So that's why I'm watching this stock, and I'm probably going to enter a new swing here to the upside, looking to 1750 as a level of resistance, but potentially holding all the way to around $20 if we do see some real strength on this stock, and if we can see EV and maybe some electricity technology become more important again with Tesla or with other stocks like NIO continuing their runs, even though they are kind of paused right now, and that EV and electric vehicle market is really paused right now. So just as a last play, I know I said that was the last one, but I got you guys on NIO also. I've been watching this stock for weeks now, and I honestly miss out on all the runs. Even though I did talk about it in my video, I didn't really trade that last wedge because I wasn't sure that they had enough volume to really push up, but they did, and they pushed up very strongly, and now I've made 2 profitable trades on them. Really, when this wedge broke here, I bought a couple puts, and I sold them right at this level, and then I bought a call for the next day, and I sold it at the high, and that's all I've done for this week on NIO stock. But now you can see that they are reaching these lows again, so I opened up a new position on some calls for tomorrow, and we'll see if they do well or if they do poorly. Now, I'm hoping that they can really continue this small uptrend that they've been on. And if we do really zoom into the 3-minute, you can see that they are forming maybe a small wedge here, an ascending wedge or something of the sort on the stock. So I'm hoping that we can see some kind of a bounce into tomorrow, or maybe just the worst case scenario would be that they do break down and test this 2680, and that's when I'll be reevaluating my position, whether I want to add anything to the position or potentially pull out, because I think that if they do break below 2680, they have nothing holding them to breaking down back to 22. So I'm really hoping to see more upside with this trade. In the last few days, it's been a pretty consistent pattern that they open up higher after hours. So I'm really hoping that that trend continues. That way, at the very least, I can get a little bit of premium on my contracts. But you can see that it hasn't been looking good for the bulls here on the stock over the last few days. And on the hourly chart, we're not really getting a lot of these melted candles that we like to see when the bulls are really stepping in. We only get them when we really reach below this 2687. So that's why I think that 2687 will be a price that we cannot break tomorrow, but we have to wait and see what happens with this company. So that's why I don't really recommend it as my top 3 plays for this week, but I do think there's a lot of potential if they find some sort of direction within the next few days. So that's going to be all my updates, guys. Like I said, I think there's going to be a huge bull run on the stock market as a whole. I think there's a lot of potential coming into next week, especially if as a trader you felt like, okay, there's not really much anything for you to trade here. I think these next few days are going to really be worth your time, and I know I'm going to be up at 6:30 a.m. looking for my newest swing trade tomorrow at the open, and looking to have a very, very green week next week, Monday, when we might have more news about the election, more news about these presidential candidates, or anything else happening. So just keep a close eye out on all these pieces of news, guys. As always, thank you so much for the love that I've been getting in the comments. A lot of new subscribers joining the community. I appreciate you guys so much. Link down below in the description to the free Discord where I put up signals and plays every single day for free, so you can join that whenever you guys want. Link in the description. As always, thank you so much for liking and subscribing the video, and hope you have a green day.